Welcome to Soul Tribe Search Party, your go-to space for real talk, deep reflections, and unfiltered life moments. I'm your host, Breezy, and here we keep it raw, soulful, and authentic. Hit that subscribe button, and let's dive in. Hey, y'all. So, honestly, when I think about it, I don't want to be an entrepreneur either. I literally just want to be free. Like, the reason why I took the entrepreneurial route, I didn't want to be burnt out. I don't want the same schedule of anything every day. I want to really be able to take charge of myself. If I don't feel that you are fit to lead me, then I have to take matters into my own hands, which, I mean, regardless of the fact you should want to lead yourself anyway, I think that is what put me in the position to say that I want to be an entrepreneur. But when I really do deep diving reflection, I don't want that either. Like, to be an entrepreneur in one way is where you do burn yourself out. You're doing basically all the same things that you would be doing working a regular job, but now it's burnout for yourself. And I don't want that. I don't want that either. So the space that I have really been learning to be in a lot lately, and I should show y'all this video because I stopped and watched this girl's video. I'm going to look it up actually. She was basically talking about just like how happy she's been with her abundance in life, just what she brings. Hold on, look, because I'm just over here just talking. Let me find the video.
I spent my whole life struggling with money and lack, and now that I'm so rich, it's like mind-boggling. Like, I genuinely have so much money that anytime I want something, anytime I need something, I just buy it. I just do whatever I want. And it's like, it doesn't feel real. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty crazy. There's all these things that I was like, oh, I'll do that when I have the money. And now I'm doing it. I'll buy that when I have the money. And then I bought it. I want to go to that place. And I went there. I want to eat that food, and I'm going to get the chips and the guac and the drink. And no one really prepared me for like the playfulness, like the levels of like childlike joy that are going to come out of me when I finally have so much money, because I'm just silly. I'm like, I'm going to get a trampoline and I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to get a pony. I saw this pretty journal at the store and I was like, yeah, I'm buying that. It's pretty. I like it. And I smell good and I feel good about myself. And I'm just like, amazing. And I can help other people because I feel so abundant. I get to do for other people and help other people. And it just feels so good. It feels so good.
Literally, after watching that video, that's exactly how I feel. And the crazy thing is that it's okay for you to feel like that. It is okay for you to fully walk in your power and know your truth of how this shit really works. And of course, when you put that intention out there, because honestly, it's better to just move in silence, knowing that, but for the sake of just putting it out there so that people don't have to feel like it's wrong to feel that way or to be deserving of that. Yes. Like, I struggle so much in life because on a daily basis, I walk around with the most abundant mindset. I don't I don't live my life in fear of anything. I don't live my life worried. Like, I don't have a problem for every solution. I have a solution for every problem. Finding peace in that lane. And it doesn't mean everything is cookies and bubbles, because obviously if you operate that high, you are going to have to really do the work in that shadow side of things to continue to elevate in that direction. And when you are faced with that shadow side of stuff, it's heavy. and it's not the same for everybody. We all have our own shadows and burdens, but everybody is facing different things. We're not all here on the same exact journey, but close. That's why I started to tell people not to be insensitive, but to me, nobody is special. Everybody has a victim mentality, and they like to talk about what is happening to them. To me, it's just like, that's the crazy part, is everybody thinks everything is happening to them and that shit is not happening for them, or that they are separate from the collective, like that the collective doesn't have their own things that they have overcome or been through, and they're doing it. And it's not to invalidate anyone at all, because you are very valid in the things that you feel. But a lot of us don't get past that step where, okay, we've validated this emotion and how we feel about this, but now it's time to grow. Now it's time to get uncomfortable and outside of this. I have been very much so operating in a space of abundance, and it has been very scary. It's very scary because you're trying to balance between, am I too high, or it's very scary. But at the same time, it feels good as fuck, bro. It feels good as fuck to be a high achieving fucking, I don't even know what we should be called, human being. Like, I feel like I have a fucking PhD in being a fucking human. It's like, obviously every day you're still learning, you're still tested, you still are gonna be faced with things, only to see that yet it was another day of you overcoming. At the end of the day gonna end. And what I said about not wanting to be an entrepreneur, it's because obviously my gift is to give back to the collective, just as a lot of other people have that same journey in different ways. We all have the same common goal in different font. My craft is different from the next person's craft, and all that creativity is supposed to spark. You're going to stimulate people differently. We're all here to wake people up. We're all here to plant a seed. Okay? That's what, I don't want to say all of us, but yes. Plant the seed. And so it's like, when you are finally walking in alignment, it's scary. It's not what you expected. It's not what you expected. It's not like people's ideas of rich and running a business. It's not what we think it is. But very much so, if that is what you are good at, that's what you'll be given. Like, my archetype, and maybe that's not the right word to use, I'm trying to think of what what I was described as. It was something along the lines of like being a soft healer in a warrior body. And I mean, that's so Aries coded, but that's how I feel. I very much do feel softer on my internal world. Like, I am more nurturing and calm. I'm not a typical Aries, but in the same token, I am who I am, but I can meet you there in any aspect or form. So if you're on the darker side of things, like, all I'm going to be doing is mirroring back energy to you, because regardless of who you are, I'm not here to fault you or automatically just categorize you and put myself above or below you. That's not my job. Like, I'm literally just supposed to be living a human experience and living in my creativity and my mind and my soul's purpose and my soul's journey. We are all one. So why would we be spending our time comparing, contrasting, when if you are living in your authenticity, there is nothing to even compete with except yourself? Then you realize, like, life is not just about hustle, which I know, I've said it a few times. It's not about hustle. It's about finding yourself, living in your truth, and then just finding the peace. And it's like, well, shit, though. Like, if my daily life goal or piece is to do something where I'm slinging some tea, you know, like, yes, I love to heal internally. I love to heal others internally. I love to plant that seed. That's what I love to do. So it doesn't seem like a hustle for me when I am helping people have that realization. If it starts to feel like a chore, if it starts to feel like I'm being drained or something like that, then it's like, yes, you need to fact check yourself and take that energy out of, what am I doing this for? Am I doing this to hustle? Am I doing this to survive? Because when you're doing stuff out of survival, that still keeps you trapped in the loop. You have to produce out of comfort. You have to be able to produce, you know, you're not in survival mode. And even though I talk about it where I'm like, oh, you guys aren't finna see this video until blah, 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 bro, that is dope as fuck. The fact that I have content built up to where, yeah, I got to line this shit up because it's all great content. It all needs to get out. But my schedule right now only, like, I'm not going to put the stress on myself to have to produce every day. I don't have to produce every day. I don't want to put a YouTube video out every single day. I don't want to put a TikTok out every single day. My thing is, I'm going to have a schedule to where I'm tackling each thing I want to tackle. And then I'm just going to follow suit with that. And I'm going to follow suit with that until it deems it needs an upgrade, or if it needs a downgrade, whatever it is. But to be able to produce in advance because you're not in your survival mode, you're in your comfort state, and you can give out these messages or whatever the fuck it is, that's awesome. So, and I feel like personally, there will come a day where I can just off top produce a video, edit it that day, put it out there that same day. But I'm not there yet. And I'm not rushing myself to be there because it's not in alignment for me right now. My job right now is to be a mom, to be me. Okay. I am growing a human, and I also have myself outside of that. And this is balancing both. That's just what it is. You figure out what things are important to you, and you tell yourself the life that you're deserving of. You don't write about your future goals. You sit down and you write about exactly the life that you envision for yourself, that you wake up every day and you live. You write that down. And then you literally live that every single day. And that's easier said than done. It is. Because your life goal might not be the same as mine. So this is me speaking particularly to that. And some people are meant to work a job. Like, maybe your influence is being in that job because that's probably how you plant a seed. But just know, if your calling feels bigger than that, then it definitely is something worth exploring. You don't have to be afraid of it. And literally firsthand, like I was definitely somebody that I had to see where I was landing first before I jumped. So this is beyond me. Like I've had to literally let go of so much control to get to where I am right now in life. I had to let go of so much control. I had to go within to the point where I be needing balance with that. Y'all, I start back saying the group at work last night because I do let myself work a couple days out the week. That is my balance. I love the human interaction sometimes, but also let yourself work places if it's okay with you, but they align with you. It's something where if you don't feel like going, then you don't go. It's not like I'm scheduled and I have to do this every single day because I don't have to if I don't want to. And yeah, sometimes I will have my days where I'm like, shit, I don't feel like going. And I'll be caught in that cycle. But then I always regroup myself. Anyways, I feel like that was a side comment. Dang it. And I have this mom brain sometimes where I'd be like, shit, let me talk on this so I don't lose this thought. But that's okay. That is my truth. And if it's something that I want to fix, then I can fix it, right? But yep, it's lost. Yeah, man. It feels really good. It feels good to let go. It feels good to trust the process. And another thing that I struggle with, I was thinking about this to myself. When it comes to friendships, and I don't know if I said this before or not, but to me, my friendships are very deep. Like, I emotionally care about my friends to the point where, like, I just feel like if we are friends, we are all in for one another. Like, it doesn't even matter what you need, I'm there. That's why I feel like it's so important. Like, if you surround yourself with people that just be around everybody, like that shit is so draining to me. I don't know how you do it, but I don't have time to entertain 30 different kind of people. Like I just need me a couple good ones that like they know you. They love you. They take their time to understand you, to support you, to show up for you. I think that is amazing. And I think that I also struggle with that too because I am learning how to not step outside of that, but open that up even more. Because when you come into contact with people, I feel like we always try to label everything, and we don't have to do that. Like, this connection doesn't have to be something specific, it can just be what it is. Because the connection was probably brought together just for an experience. Sometimes I have a hard time of letting go of knowing that. I will like mourn people that are still alive. Like you reminisce on life and you're like, dang, I miss having this person around. But it's a person that you just cannot fuck with. Like, come on now. There's principles, and when people do stuff, it's like, bro, yeah, I can't fuck with you, but I'm trying to find balance to where there's no bad blood. It's just you have to acknowledge that you've outgrown this space. And just because you've outgrown that space doesn't mean like it absolutely cannot come back in the future if someone has changed frequency, changed course. But it's just crazy, you know, how you'll think about those times and you'll balance between, yeah, it's because of what I brought to that I miss, or I miss that aspect of myself, versus you miss that person. Because when you really break stuff down, you're like, yeah, but I was doing this, and this for you, and you did this, and this. Or when it came time to crack the surface, you ran away. You were afraid to hit those points. Finding a real balance in that, I can still feel people's energy, and I don't think it's egotistical to feel this way, but I'll be knowing that somebody feels this type of way because my energy can pick up on their energy. And it's like you feel that internal rub. Like if you put two of the same side batteries together, it's like or magnets. I don't. Anyway, but yeah, it has that weird force, right? And I think the hardest part about that is me personally, when I'm able to feel that type of energy, I'm like, well, I don't know if I should address them or, because people could either deflect or it could be that you are really projecting that onto them, you know, but I'm a patterns person. So I will pay attention to your pattern and how you are. And even though I might be checking your temperature at first to see, like, depending on how you answer it, I'll just be able to know, like, yeah, this person is deflecting, so this conversation isn't really meant to be had. But I get on myself because I'm like, yeah, but you refusing to say something could be also what would have saved this interaction. And then to further that, I'll be like, yeah, but me saving this interaction is because they didn't want to also meet me there. Like they just are okay with it continuing to be this way. And I don't know if that just sounds like way crazy. I'll leave a lot of relationships where they are because if I do try to initiate something with you and you don't kind of catch the energy, you kind of just like, you're right here. I don't like to take that responsibility to be like, okay, let me be the first to address the elephant in the room, blah, 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 blah. Because also, I feel like if it is something that I've said to you, you should be able to right then and there speak on it. Or if it's like, if I didn't text you back and you like, bitch, you didn't text me back, I would be like, oh shit, that's on me. Yep. Like to have real people call you out just as you do to them. And so, yeah, sometimes I'll just deem it as it is what it is, and I'll just let a relationship be what it is that whole time. But I mean, I don't know, maybe someone can leave some real feedback for me on how to handle that. Because that could be why Aries are misunderstood, as people like to say. I don't think I'm misunderstood. I think that I'm just like, I'm very to the point. Yes, I don't necessarily talk to everybody about every single thing that they do because I also feel like I have the understanding that people know what they're doing. So logically, I'm not going to react out of emotion with you. I'm just going to let you be because I'm not going to entertain that. But I'm also not going to, like invalidate you or feel like, it's egotistical for me not to say something. But 9 times out of 10, like I had the last interaction with you or whatever it was, and that right there was my notification of to self, like, yeah, we're just gonna leave this one right here and circle back later. I don't know. But I'm already someone that I already have so much to say that a lot of times that those just be the times where I'm like, actually, I always got so much feedback. I don't have no feedback for this. And that's like the detachment of things that I have with people. And then this is a different topic. Somebody was talking about like how they know things, and it's not really a resource or anything like that. It is literally just coming from within. And it was so crazy to me because I feel like we always feel like, sorry, I feel like I'm talking in circles. We always feel like there has to be something to validate an internal output. And sometimes it really is just like, I said this because I know it to be true. And then you just, bam. Or this is what's happening because this is what my internal self says. Like, I don't have to always quote fucking George Jefferson from 1736 about some fact. It's like, no, my internal self said that this was a fact, so this is what it is. But it's not that I be trying to just, somebody could be like, the sky is blue. And I'm like, listen, just stop looking up there and look at me. I'm telling you that it's purple. And I know this. I'm not saying that. I'm literally saying, like, yes, the sky is in fact blue, but I have also furthered my internal research, and I found that it is actually made up of this and this. That was probably a bad example, but you have to understand what I'm saying. I think that was all for my brain dump today, because I do feel like my thoughts were kind of all over the place. But I think my biggest takeaway from what I talked about today was just make sure, as an entrepreneur, as a creator, whatever it is, you are allowing yourself space and you are not obsessing over being a creator, being a business owner, whatever the case may be. Like, you are creating from a space of, I'm relaxed, I'm okay, grounded, and you know that you're good. So, until next time. That's a wrap for today's episode. If this resonated with you, don't forget to follow, share, and connect with me on YouTube, TikTok, and my website can be found in my bio. Let's keep the convo going.